Nintendo. This is gonna be good. Ooh. In an age beyond living memory, ... skip. I don't have time to read all that because it'll sound awkward if I read along. Hello everyone, my name is Gerd or Gerdo, whatever you want to call me. And I have not uploaded anything to YouTube in a very long time. And people who are for some reason still subscribed to this channel might be confused to see my name change and this showing up in their sub box. But if you clicked on it, great. If not, well, you're not here. Okay, so I'm going to be playing this blind. It will seem like I already have some save data here, but it's just me doing some like test runs to get my recording setup going. I was dealing with some issue of the audio not syncing properly, but I think I solved it. So I'm gonna plan to read along with all of the text that happens. Not this, because it's going too fast for me to actually read it. So I figured that if I read along, I'll take it in myself more instead of trying to talk over it and only sort of pay attention to it, because I'm very interested in the plot of this game. I unfortunately have been spoiled as for the big thing that happens in the middle of the game, but I blame Fire Emblem Heroes for that, because they like spoiling things. Alright. At the heart of the continent of Jugdral lies Granvale, a kingdom founded by Saint Haim of the 12 Crusaders. Supporting the royal family, the heirs of Haim are 6 noble houses, each also descended from a crusader of old. The 6 states, while still subservient to the royal family, each occupy vast swaths of Granvale's land and maintain mighty militaries of their own. Owing to King Asmer's advanced age, the governance of Granvale falls to his son, the highly respected Prince Kurth. Kurth has 2 trusted advisors in his rule, Lord Byron of House Chalfie, nice beard, and Lord Ring of House Jungby, nice mustache. Granvale's Chancellor, Lord Reptor of Friege, nice monocle, has long objected to the threat to his influence posed by Kurth and his advisors, and has allied himself with the avaricious Lord Langbalt of House Dozel to form a faction opposed to Kurth's rule over Granvale. The young Duke of House Velthomer, Lord Arvis, got that hair, leads the royal guard in the king's care and so has little time for the circus of politics. Only Father Cloud of House Edda could foresee the oncoming storm. Kind of reminds me of Lucius. I'm assuming it's a guy. Call him Father. Into the midst of this tense situation comes dire news from Jugdral's east. Darna, a town in the Yid Desert with deep ties to Granvale, is now besieged by savage warriors from Isaac. Reports of a brutal massacre abound. Traveling. The news is met by the people of Granvale with furious cries for retribution, and before long the kingdom declares war on Isaac. Prince Kurth leads Granvale's charge on his father's behalf, commanding the military might of the kingdom's 6 houses. At Kurth's side, as always, is none other than Lord Beard, and highly decorated hero of peerless valor in his own right. Granvale has poured its entire military might into the Isaac campaign, and precious few soldiers remain behind, with its neighbors, Australia to the west, Verdo to the south, bound in alliance with Granvale. None dare to dream they could ever be threatened. It is not long at all, however, before the people's confidence is shattered. As if from nowhere, a vast horde from Verdane, led by Prince Gandalf, crosses the Granvale border and lays siege to Ljungby Castle. In Lord Ring's absence, his daughter, Lady Ideen, is Ljungby's only guardian. Lord Byron has entrusted the defense of Granvale in his absence to his son, Sigurd, who remains at Chalfie Castle with a mere handful of soldiers. Ah, Sigurd. He's gonna be a cool guy. A friend of Ideen since childhood, Sigurd is horrified to hear of the Ljungby siege, and even with so few soldiers, is determined to protect Ideen and his fatherland from the savage Verdunite hordes. The year was 757, Grand Calendar, and thus the threshold of fate is cast open. Nobody could have known then that this simple disturbance was but the first of countless calamities to come. Alright, we are starting Birth of a Crusader. That should be fun. I like fun. Okay, so here is Ljungby. You see it's green, that means the little green symbol that's covered by that guy's axe. That means it's a allied nation. Milady, the castle is completely surrounded. We failed you. We couldn't do a thing to save you from them. It's alright, me dear. Every one of you did the best you could do. Please, you needn't worry about me. You must ensure that as many of you survive this as possible. The text scrolling is kind of weird here. It comes sort of line by line, but not really. So if I hold A, it'll accelerate some of the line, but not all of it. I don't know. No, milady, we might not stand a chance, but every last one of us will give our lives to protect you, right to the very end. Thank you, me dear. I'm so sorry. It's almost like she's saying, thanks, my dear. Like she's calling him dear. Chalfie. Gandalf's army has Ljungby surrounded. Ideen is in grave danger. Noish, I'm going to help her. I'm leaving Chalfie in your hands. Hold, my lord. Surely you don't intend to go alone. Nearly all of our forces are already on the march to Isaac with father. There's hardly anybody left to call upon. They might be simple savages, but Verdo's army is still huge. I can't risk your lives by forcing you to face them. Perish the thought, my lord. I was born a knight, and I will gladly risk dying a knight's death in your name. To allow our lord to die alone in battle will be an unspeakable disgrace. We shall be by your side every step of the way. Alec, I trust you're of the same mind? Yeah, of course. But there's more than just Ljungby at stake. We've got to stop by the nearby villages first. He's got quite the towel on his head. Unless his hair is like white or something. I don't know. I'm assuming that's a towel thing or turban. Is that racist? I don't know. These are anime characters. Who cares? Those thugs will try to beat us to them, and they'll loot, massacre, and burn them all down if they do. We've got to get there first and lend the locals a hand in locking the villages down and fortifying their defenses. Ah, see? This is story telling you what to do in gameplay. Good stuff. Absolutely, we mustn't neglect our knightly duties to the people, especially not at a time like this. Good point, Alec. Actually, that was all Uife's idea. Ife? I've heard like 5 different pronunciations of this guy's name. That kid's every bit the tactician they say he is. Give him a few years and he'll be a match for his old grandpa, Lord Cesare. Probably it's Cesare. Uife is still around the castle, huh? Uife, I know you're here. You can come out now. My apologies for still being here, sire. Still, if you would allow it, I'd like to join you in battle. I can't just sit back while you risk your lives. I don't know. You're still so young. Are you sure you're ready for this? I'm already 14, sire. I may not be battle ready just yet, but there's still so much I can do to support you. Please, allow me to accompany you. I swear I won't let you down. Fair enough, Uife. After all, you've spent 2 years training as my squire. Real battlefield experience will be fantastic for your training, but you're still definitely not up to actual combat duty for now. How about you ride with me as my advisor instead? Yes, sir. Thank you, sire. Thank you. Thanks a bunch. My lord, what of the defense of Chalfie itself in our absence? Leaving the castle unattended is risky. Should the enemy slip past us, an unguarded castle will fall easily and spell us a swift end. Noish, I'd say there's only one man who we can depend upon for that. Arden? Hold on a moment. Why me, Alec? I like Arden. He's fun. Sturdy as a brick wall, strong as an ox, slow as a turtle. Face it, Arden, you were born for guard duty. Ha ha. Ha! I'm strong and tough, I know, but you really don't need to call me slow. That's a line I know from Heroes. He has a point, Arden. Would you? You're the most apt at guard duty. Fine, I'll do it. But you have to bring me with you at least once. I don't want to be left out of the action. Right. Men, it's time to set out. Let's start by assisting the villagers, then it's onward to Ljungby. Alright, here we go. Sigurdface. What so? I know the maps in this game are huge. Which is why I've heard this game called Horse Emblem. But I like that you can already get a sense of the scale of everything. So like, we saw that map in the big scene leading up to this. And Ljungby's over here. The invading Evans is over here. And then we were at Chalfie. So we have a good idea of how far away all of these places are, just as it is. So, okay. I'm going to feed this kill to Noish. Now, I said I'm doing this blindly, but I've played this first chapter at least once a long time ago, and dang it. I've seen it a few times already, just in my test recordings. So, this bit of the gameplay isn't going to be totally blind, but the blindness will come later when I start doing really stupid things because I don't actually know this game's mechanics. But this is it'll be interesting because I'll have to see how well the game explains itself or doesn't explain itself. Because I feel like some games have an issue where they don't make things very obvious. And then sometimes they're like really big things. Like, I think it's like some of the Gaiden chapters in Fire Emblem 7. Like, how would you be expected to know to unlock one chapter you have to get Nils to a certain level by the end of Lin mode? Because if you're playing reasonably well, you won't do that because you wouldn't have taken that many turns to do so. Stuff like that. I feel like some Fire Emblem games you kind of need a guide just to make sure you're doing it right. But, okay, so my goal here is I'm gonna take this village with Sigurd next turn and start bringing everywhere else down here. Arden has already abandoned his post, but that's, you know, don't worry about it. Okay, end turn. Evans phase. Got more cutscene here. You know, I really hate it when emulators crash. I don't know what happened, but somewhere in the middle of this scene it crashed. So I'm just going to start it from here and hope I edit it properly. You curs seriously haven't seized this puny castle yet? Useless, the lot of you. Out of my way, I'll do it myself. You. Not bad for being here all on your lonesome, but I've had enough of your struggling. And Meteor takes it. Urgh, milady, forgive me. I love the manly dying sound. It's funny because Meteor doesn't look very manly. Meteor, Well, looks we have quite the gem here. And Ljungby's princess to boot. You're coming home with me, dearie. Listen up, DiMaggio. I'm heading back. You and Gerard are in charge. Yes, sir. Relax, won't be long, and I'll be bringing Kinbait's lot along for the fun. When I knew all Granvale's our oyster, even Belhella ought to be easy pickings. But what with nobody around to stop us? The kingdom's all ours, boys. Leave it to us, sir. And this is where it crashed last time. Oi, quit your dawdling. We don't have all day, you know. Cut the bridge. I'll have none of those Granvale worms crossing over here. Yes, sir. Bridge is down. Oi, Gerard. I'm going back to Marfa for now. You're in charge of the border. Stay sharp. We clear? Yes, sir. But, your lordship, who's that dame you have there? Spoils of war, my boy. She's coming back to Marfa to marry me. What do you think? A real keeper, eh? I'll say, just looking at her is making me mouth water. Back off, this one's mine. You'll have your pick of all Granville once we're done. Keep it in your pants a little longer, yeah? Oh, this is dirtier dialogue than you'd expect in a game with Nintendo on it. What animals? Gods above, I implore you, bestow upon these men a hint of human decency. Oi, what are you mumbling about now? We're out of here. No dawdling, you hear? Get to work, boys. Our next stop's Chalfie. Don't forget to milk the villagers for all they've got. Well, hopefully that won't happen. I'll do what I can to stop it. Alright. So one thing I noticed, this game's RNG appears to be, seated in a certain way, I guess. Because every time I've done this chapter, the first turn played out exactly the same. In terms of me sending Alec over to that one guy, and then him getting hit every time. Either that or I'm very unlucky. I might not know what I'm talking about. We got some new friends here. Looks like we made it in time, Lex. And by the look of it, Sigurd's staring down the entire Verdo army with just a handful of men. Bet he'll be glad for the help. But geez, Azel, I can't believe he'll actually drag me to yet another mess like this. With the war in Isaac going on, there's hardly anybody left to defend Granville. Sigurd's few knights are all we have, and they're out there risking their lives on behalf of the entire country. I couldn't just leave them to die. Ha, we both know there's more to it than that. Come on, Azel, what's the real reason we're here? I have no idea what you mean. It's that Lady Aideen of Ljungby, isn't it? Come on, everybody knows you like her. You just came for her sake, didn't you? No, of course not, you dolt. Really? Then why's your face beat red? Looks like somebody's got a girlfriend. Oh, Lex is an ass. I love him. Lex, knock it off. Come on, we've wasted enough time. Haha, got it. Time to teach these Verdo-ite thugs a lesson or two. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of make a save every turn. Partially so I don't have to redo a lot of stuff if I mess up. But also for the sake of making recording easier. If the emulator crashes again for some reason. Man, that was frustrating. Alright. So I'm going to keep Arden down here and make him keep abandoning his post. Because he has something he can contribute. I just gotta make sure that no one gets to the castle. But that shouldn't be too difficult. It'll be a while before anyone even gets near it. Alright, so it's time for Sigurd to show everyone who's boss. And, spoilers, it's Sigurd. Yeah! So as far as I know, Sigurd can apparently more or less solo the first half of this game. I'm not going to do that, but it sounds like a fun thing to attempt. So maybe if I ever find myself replaying this game, I'll make Sigurd do it all. Alright, let's see. This guy's at 22. Not quite enough for... I know Alec hits for 20 total. Okay, yeah, I'll have Noish finish him off and then have Alec attack the other guy. And then the other guy's probably going to follow up by attacking Arden? I don't know what their, what the formula is for, coming up with who attacks who. Or who the enemies attack. But it can't be... It might have something to do with their accuracy. It might not. I don't know. Yeah, whack. Okay, so let's try out our new friends here. Azel's a mage. He has Pursuit here. I probably should have, like, pretended I definitely didn't know what I was doing and look at all the skills at the beginning. But, like I said, I've played the first part of this, like 5 or so times. So I know basic things. So it looks like in this game, doubling enemies is more of a, you have to have the skill to do it. Alec has it, and he's also immune to crits and whatnot. But Noish doesn't. But instead, he has the ability to hit a crit. And if Agile user may continue a round of battle, I don't know what that means. My guess is that it's like if he's fast enough, then he and the enemy will go for another go or something. But I don't know. And Lex, he has advantage, so he'll attack first. And Paragon doubles experience gain. That's a good skill. Oh, it says talk Sigurd. I'm guessing that means that there is dialogue if I bring the two next to each other, but I'll save that for later in the chapter because there is stuff that Lex needs to accomplish over here. So let's have Azel show everyone who's boss. It's still Sigurd, but Azel does a pretty good job. We only have one mage right now, and all these early game enemies have, I think pretty much all of them has 0 res. That guy. 1 res. Ooh, he's a tough customer. Alright. Lex is bulky enough that we will put him on this town. Okay, this guy is explaining the weapon triangle because I believe this was the game where it was introduced. If not, then it was the game before. I haven't played any of the games released before Binding Blade. And I haven't played all of them after that either. I still need to play the 2 Tellius games and the Arcanea remakes. But though I have the 2 Tellius games, I just got them recently. Because I like having physical copies of things. It compels me to play them more. And as for the Arcanea games, I'm going to have to emulate FE12. But FE11, I should attain that soon. Okay, so that was a pretty successful player phase, if I do say so myself. Evan's phase. Alright, let's see who they're going to attack, because I actually don't know. Okay, so this guy's going to... Okay, so I have to hope that Alec doesn't get hit here. Ah, he attacked Arden instead. So I'm guessing that who they attack probably factors into accuracy a little bit, because that guy should have killed Alec if everything went wrong for me. All right. Lex is contributing. This enemy's face theme is pretty good. I'm a big fan of the SNES sound font for these. Like, feels orchestral enough, but not like overblown. You know, I was complaining about emulators crashing. It happened again. So, I'll start it here. And of course, last time I forgot to save at the start of this turn. But this is going to be the part where I wasn't going to stop anyway. Anyway. Good. We aren't too late. I pray Sigurd is still unhurt. I'm sure my brother's doing just fine out here. But it won't be easy without a magic user in his ranks. I like this. She doesn't magically know that we have Azel helping us out. I want to do all I can as a healer to help out and save lives. Quan, I'm sorry I dragged you into this mess as well. I know Chalfie isn't my family anymore now that we're married, but I couldn't just sit back and do nothing. Thank you so much for coming. Not just from me, but from Sigurd. There's no need for thanks, Ethlin. Sigurd is every bit as important to me as he is to you, remember? He is my brother-in-law now, after all, and I couldn't possibly leave you to fight all alone. Thank you, dear. Thank you so much. My lord, my lady, we should hurry. Lord Sigurd still awaits us on the battlefield, just ahead. Okay, and that's where Sigurd awaits them. So, I'm gonna call it a video here. Maybe between recordings I will find out what is causing the emulator to crash. Hopefully it's not a recurring problem, or this playthrough is going to suck. Hopefully it won't. Okay, well, that's all for now. My name is Gerd or Gerdo, whatever you want to call me. I will see you all in the next video. Bye.